away from fossil fuels that have got us into this mess. Fossil fuels are a broken energy system. They have led to the climate crisis, they have led to energy poverty in Africa, but also they have led
to interview.
Go there?
Yes, everybody.
Please, you have to move this way. You have to move. This is what happened because people stop to take only one picture. Excuse me. You gotta keep moving. Many times we share the same values. I don't even use the megaphone. Just keep moving, keep moving. Excuse me. Excuse me, you gotta keep moving. You gotta keep moving. Yep. Yeah, don't touch, please push. People excuse me. Thank you. Excuse me, ma'am. You don't stay here. You gotta move. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. You gotta move.
We don't want to keep people very long because we know it's a very, very hot, sunny day here. I'm going to introduce, on behalf of all the constituencies that represent civil society here, from Indigenous movements, from workers, from youth, from planning and environmental justice organisations, from feminists, from trade union movements, all of them have come together today, together with the Disability Caucus. I'm hoping I've not missed anybody else. It's okay. And faith-based organisations, that we all come together to stand together on this global day of action for climate justice. I'm going to introduce our first speaker, which is Hindu Ibrahim, who's the co-chair of the Indigenous Peoples Caucus.
You have to push the button. No.
Push the trigger.
We are going to have a blessing from Indigenous peoples before to give our messages. Tom.
From Africa.
Human rights, indigenous people rights must be in all the negotiation texts. Cover documents, loss and damage, Article 6, adaptation, mitigation. 1.5 is not negotiable. That's what we are standing up for. Loss and damage must be ended here. We cannot postpone the life of indigenous communities. Our people are dying because of floods, because of droughts. Indigenous peoples from Pacific are losing their homeland. We cannot accept any decision here without the loss and damage reparations, without indigenous people's issues inside. Justice for our people, justice from non-economic loss and damage. We are losing our culture, our identity, our life. Those are not payable. We want them to respect it, to avoid. We want the climate finance to be directly to the indigenous people. We don't want that to end in the meetings, in the cars, in the buses. We want it to be in the ground, to plant the trees, to protect the forest, to give the people the livelihood that they deserve. We cannot accept the polluters to continue polluting the blood of our Mother Earth. All what they are taking from her blood, she's getting sick. The soil is her skin, the forest her hair, the rivers are all what we need in our life as indigenous peoples. Our planet is dying because they are taking her blood every single day. We cannot accept that. We must stand up all for the planet, for the rights of indigenous peoples here in this COP right now. Right now.
Our next speaker is on behalf of the climate justice constituency. Nemo Basu needs no introduction, a renowned environmental justice activist known across the continent of Africa from Nigeria. Nemo.
People united can never be. People united can never be defeated. The people united can never be defeated. The people united can never be defeated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I like that. Yes, the final one at the back. The people united can never be defeated. Brothers and sisters, this is not an African COP.
Yep.
Because the COP is lost and damaged. The COP is broken. We need to have the people's COP. We are not here to entertain the polluters. We want the polluters kicked out of the COP. Kick them out. Thank you. you. That's right. Africa is being assaulted right now. We have mining and oil and gas companies sinking their dirty machines across the continent.
Oh, yes.
Destroying, killing, stealing. This is the kind of colonialism that cannot be tolerated. No to neo-colonialism. We say no to fossil colonialism. We have a right as a people to reject every unwelcome intervention on the continent. And when I say the continent, I'm speaking about the sovereign people around the whole world. This is the time for real climate action. We don't want any offsetting. We don't want anyone grabbing our forests, grabbing our rivers, grabbing our animals. We don't want our rivers to be seen only as carbon sinks. If you want the real carbon sink, it's the polluters who are the carbon sink. Let's sink the carbon in the polluters. I don't think you heard what I said. Let's sink the carbon in the polluters. Let's keep the polluters away from the coal. Historically, we have been robbed. Historically, we've been plundered. Historically, we've been polluted, and now is the time to pay the climate debt. We are demanding that as much and more that the global, not the rich countries spending warfare, should be paid to the countries who have been historically robbed and plundered.
By them, in
They can spend $2 trillion a year in warfare, destroying, killing. They can spend $2 trillion in building resilience. We are not asking for 100 billion. We're not asking for 200 billion.
Come on.
We're asking for a debt that is being owed that must be paid.
Pay the climate debt! Pay the climate debt! Pay the climate debt!
A people united
will never be defeated! A people united will never be defeated! A people united will never be defeated! A people united will never be defeated!
Let's hear it, people! Our next speaker is Patricia Watimena from the Women and Gender constituency. We know that there is no climate justice without gender justice.
Thank you.
I'm going to do a mic check. What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
We don't get it.
Shut it down!
What do we want? What do we want it? If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
say if we don't get it.
Shut it down!
Thank you. I'm here on behalf of Women and Gender constituency. I have a lot of everyone, we are marching here inside today as part of a global action. So you know what? Because we cannot march freely outside of this space. Why? But guess what? We reject to be silenced. We do. We reject to be silenced in this very, very patriarchal hypocrisy space. This space is full of hypocrites. This space is full of hypocrisy, where our communities are actually robbed, where our people are actually violated their human rights. The farmers, indigenous people, the women, everyone here, all of us in in our different identities, we are all robbed. We are all scammed. And we need to say it out loud. Comrades, we are standing on a breeding ground of false solutions. We need to say that this very COP is a breeding ground of false solutions. We are witnessing rapidly growing businesses dominations, and we know who they are. We know we have been doing actions after actions after actions. This is where we will say again and again, they have to pay up. Enough is enough. And we want to stop fossil fuels. Stop false, unproven climate solutions and technologies.
Thank you.
We march here to bring the voices of our communities who cannot be here because you know what? They face oppression every single day because they're asking for just and equitable transition. They ask for just and equitable world. And for any of you who are here, who try to watch all of us, every step of what we are doing, I am telling you, you will never get rid of us. Our movement will continue to grow stronger. Oh yes, until we go. And you know what? When we go, our children and grandchildren will continue this fight. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Thank you.
In the history of struggle, we know there's never been a victory that hasn't involved the labour movement. So our next speaker is Eric Manzi, who's the Deputy General Secretary of ITUC Africa, representing the labour movement.
Thank you. Friends, comrades, brothers and sisters, the importance of climate conference in Sharm el-Sheikh cannot be underestimated. We are at the watershed moment, a make or break moment to save our climate. Millions are already suffering today, most of them in the global south. All these global leaders that came in Egypt, what are you waiting for? Are you here to make fancy trade deals with each other, including fossil fuel deals that will make the world an even more unsafe place? Or are you honestly concerned about the survival of humanity? We will know at the end of this next week.
Okay, thank you.
Dear world leaders, we need mitigation plans that guarantee us to stay under the 1.5 Celsius temperature increase. It's in your hands. If you care about humanity, you decide here in Sharm el-Sheikh about an ambitious and comprehensive work program to scale up mitigation, ambition, and implementation. Dear leaders from the rich countries, your economic development was very carbon intensive. It made you rich, but it is causing devastating impact on the people, mainly in the global south. You must deliver here in Sharm el-Sheikh on a finance mechanism for loss and damage and future climate finance. There can be a climate justice without fair compensation for the damage caused. this is not an excuse for South countries to derogate to our common commitment to contribute for a neutral carbon society. Finally, there cannot be climate justice without human rights. We stand in solidarity with all those who are unlawfully deprived of their liberty, or whose rights are abused. This is about the equal, transparent, and fair participation on the civil society on the climate negotiation here at COP and at home when the policies are implemented. It's also about the protection of the promotion of labor rights, such as the right to organize and participate in the trade union, the right to collective bargaining, the right to health and safety at work. These rights are crucial for all workers, their families, and communities to keep up on climate-safe future. This is a just transition we should be talking about. Dear global leaders, our common future is in your hands. This week here in Sharm el-Sheikh, we are not yet defeated.
Thank you very much, Eric. Our next speaker, again, needs no introduction. She's Mitzi Tan from the Philippines for Fridays for Future MAPA, and she's speaking on behalf of the youth.
I stand here today with a collective by my side. We are Fridays for Future MAPA, most affected people in areas. Each of us have individual stories of resistance that are diverse and beautiful in its own right and deserves to be listened to and amplified. My country is one of the most climate vulnerable in the world. Just a week before COP, we experienced a severe tropical storm that impacted at least 3 million people. And we are one of the most dangerous countries in the world for environmental defenders and activists. Small farmers and indigenous peoples are being bombed. Land defenders who are political prisoners as young as 18 years old. We have friends and co-activists who have been slain. Zara Alvarez, Randall Echanis, Randy Manayo, Chad Book, Joreen Mujo. This is just a few of our activists who have been taken away from us by the imperialist system that is causing the climate crisis. These young people are being impacted, harassed, and killed. But where there is oppression and repression, there you will find the strongest voices of resistance. That exploit our land and people are threatened by us, and that is why they try to silence us. But we will not be silenced. We will continue to demand drastic emission cuts and climate reparations from the countries that are historically responsible for our destruction, especially for loss and damage, but also adaptation and mitigation. And this climate finance has to be new and not reallocated in the form of grants and not loans. This is their debt to us, and they have to pay it to us. We need to have a debt cancellation, especially for the global south countries. And across the world, the working class, the indigenous peoples, the youth, and other oppressed peoples, we need to unite and resist as one planet. World leaders may continue to lie to us, but we will continue to demand a better present and a better future for all oppressed peoples, a world where people are safe, and that is why different UN constituencies stand in front of you today to demand and call for the immediate and unconditional release of all freedom-fighting activists and prisoners of conscience across the world. People are rising for climate justice, and we will not be defeated. I now invite everyone to do the MAPA symbol. This means solidarity. When we do this, we say that we are unheard, not voiceless, fighting for our present, not just our future. And we will not be prisoners of injustice, because there is no climate justice without human rights. There is no climate justice without human rights.
There is also no climate justice without disability rights. I'm proud to have Jason, with disability rights advocate.
Africa's voice must be heard. 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 We are dying. We are dying. Stop ignoring us. Stop ignoring us. Don't exclude us. This is our job as well on our continent. Stop excluding us. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Our justice is your justice.
I bring here today one simple message. Disabled people are disproportionately and negatively impacted by climate change and our current responses to it. Where is disability rights? I will be brief, but not as brief as the mentions we get under the Paris Agreement for disability rights. Disabled people up to 4 times more likely to die in disasters. 4 times more likely than our non-disabled peers. This is increasing due to climate change. Right now it is happening. Where are our rights? For 5 years we've been organising for a constituency here at the COP. Where is our constituency? Where are our rights? We're 2 years overdue. What has happened? What are the blocks? Why are we not being included? This is not nothing about us without us. This is everything without us. Disability rights must be a red line in the negotiations. Say it with me. Disability rights is a red line. Disability rights is a red line. Disability rights is a red line. Together, we will not be defeated.
I want to invite up now Tasneem Essop, South African activist, anti-apartheid activist, and director of CAN International.
We want the voices of African civil society to be heard.
Amandla!
Amasi!
Do you feel our power here today?
Yes!
Do you feel our power here today?
Yes!
They will try and shut us down. No! They will try and shut us up. No! Will we be silent?
No!
Our voices will be heard.
Yes!
We cannot have our voices heard outside, but we will certainly have our voices heard here. We know our people are suffering across the world. They are suffering because of climate impacts, but they are also suffering because the economic system in this world is unjust, is oppressive, and benefits a few, the elite. When we say we need finance for loss and damage caused by you, they tell us they have no money. Lies. Why? Because they find the money to fund the fossil fuel industry. They find the money to bail out the fossil fuel industry, and they use our taxpayers' money to subsidize the fossil fuel industry. Are we going to accept that our money will be spent on industries that's killing our people. Are we? Are we? We demand that government who has caused the climate crisis and made those who are least responsible for this crisis pay for it through their lives, their livelihoods, their homes, their culture. They owe us these reparations and they need to pay up now. What do we want?
Climate justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
A people united
Will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! El pueblo unido jamás será vencido! 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 El pueblo unido jamás será vencido!
that all need to say loudly. There can be no climate justice without human rights. Say that loudly, because we need to be clear. No climate justice without human rights. No climate justice without human rights. No climate justice without human rights. Command
Thank you, Tasneem. We're joined by Archbishop Murray from the Anglican Communion on behalf of the faith community.
My sisters and brothers, we are happy to be here with the voice of the faith-based organizations. And we are here because when there is a disaster, faith-based organizations are on the ground with the people. Before, during, and after. We are adding our voices and saying that we are united. And we want, on behalf of the God of all names, make sure that the people need to get the justice that they deserve. But not any and any justice, but the justice that is inclusive, a justice that will provide food, a justice that will provide homes, a justice that will provide for people's health. We are here as faith-based organizations making sure that the voice of the God of all names is also present with his people. So when we say climate, you say? Justice. We say climate, you say? Justice. Because creation is not per se. And the voice, the prophetic voice of the faithful are not negotiable. The prophetic voice is not negotiable. For God's creation is not per se. When we say climate,
We say justice!
when we say climate,
We say justice!
thank you.
Thank you very much. Have you heard the message? There is no climate justice without human rights. And Sana, as you know here, hopefully you all recognise her, has come here, but she's asked me to read out a statement on behalf of her and her family. She says, I want to express not only my own and my family's thanks, but on behalf of all those who face repression and imprisonment wherever they are in the world, I want to thank all of you for speaking out, for all of your support. I came here thinking I would be alone, and I'm sure that those in power thought my voice would be drowned out and ignored. Instead, I found my family was already here, waiting for me. A family of sisters and brothers from every corner of the world, workers, feminists, youth activists, Indigenous sisters and brothers, climate justice warriors. And with open arms and open hearts, you have lifted my voice, lifted up our call for justice, that none of us are free until we are all free. You have not only made a powerful change, you have shown that we are never powerless. And that message has echoed throughout the country and around the world, including into every corner of every dark prison cell. It has filled the hearts of all those who dream of a better world with hope. And without a doubt, it has meant a difference in this struggle to save my brother. You have shown that the most important weapon we have in our fight for climate justice, political justice, economic justice, racial and gender justice is solidarity. That we have been given by all of you has turned a moment of despair, has turned a moment of darkness into a moment of hope. Your love has turned a moment of despair into a moment of possibility. Your actions have turned the slogan, "There is no climate justice without human rights," into a reality. I will return to Cairo to stand alongside my mother at the prison gates. But I will not return alone. The whole world knows that all of you are there standing alongside me, and that it is you who are shaking the prison gates loose. One day, I hope my brother will be able to stand here with you and raise his voice, as he has always done, for the repressed, the criminalised, the marginalised and the ignored. And all of you are what he dreamed of, and what he has spent a decade in prison for. A movement of movements that says our fight is a fight for all of humanity, and that we are not yet, and we will never be defeated. Free them all! I want to just ask Lorraine Chiponda from the Cop27 coalition to close us through. Lorraine.
Comrades and friends, we are calling on our leaders now to decolonize energy systems, to decolonize food systems, to decolonize economic systems that have resulted in this climate change. We stand here and demand a system change, not climate change. We have the climate clock, and we demand our leaders to consider the climate clock and to end energy appetite, to end colonialism of systems that have resulted in climate change. And finally, comrades, our battle is not here at home. It's back in our communities. It's back at home, where we have to continuously fight and continuously push and advance our agenda for climate reparations, for recognition of the climate debt, for payment of loss and damage by polluting nations. So we are forced today to close at 1 p.m. because this is the limited time that we have been given. But my message to you all is, united we stand, and united we will overcome. Thank you very much. We have to close our banners. We are not allowed to walk around with our banners. So please, let's close our banners. We are not allowed to take them in or to carry out slogans and chants. On behalf of the Cop27 coalition, I thank you all.
been defeated. We've still got a week to go. Thank you. And we've been asked to tell everybody to disperse. Obviously, please close your banners. If you're going inside the plenary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, to me, it's with 360.
Oh, hi, Billy. Hey, nice to meet you. Finally, essay. Huh?
Finally, freedom.
Yeah, essay. You? I was just giving you hip step here. I was tired. Only wait yesterday. You have to take her out. Yo, we will do what? I'm glad you managed. Yeah, no. Next time. Everybody will be strong, but make sure. Hey, because we were supposed to get you stay here. But it's glad that you're outside. Finally, I see the TV. Nice to meet you. Bye. Where's Lucy? Actually, what is Lucy? No, anak ko. That's one over there.
That's a very good role in the UK and on behalf of the Climate Justice Movement. That's great. Well, we're hugely disappointed as a civil society, as you can see. We entered this COP with alarm bells ringing. We can see the climate catastrophe happening everywhere in the world. Huge floods in my country of origin, Pakistan, floods in Nigeria, millions on the brink of famine across the whole of Africa. We've got science telling us that the window of opportunity of 1.5. Instead, we've had world leaders come, particularly rich countries, that said lots of very, very tough sounding words on climate, but they're still not putting down concrete action. We're seeing delays on cutting emissions. We're still seeing blocks on climate and finance. We're seeing rich countries refuse to accept responsibility for loss and damage. We've got a week to go. This can't be more hot air. We need concrete outcomes by the end of this. And this is a failed COP. Because all around the world we have seen that climate justice movements, the human rights defenders are being criminalised and being killed. We have 2 environmental defenders killed each week for resisting extractivism, the power of corporations. And so Allah here is not only just an individual, he symbolises the struggles of our movement. We came here to this COP knowing that there were huge restrictions, that our movements in this country were not able to mobilise, were not able to be here in the numbers and in the space and be able to use their voices. That's why we as a global movement are lifting up those voices. It's our responsibility, and we as a movement of civil society representing hundreds of millions of people, tens of thousands of organisations, all stand behind the call. Free Allah, free them all. Well, actually around the world there's a global day of action. In the UK we have 30 actions taking place with the same message: climate justice and free Allah and snap and free them all. This is happening all around the world. We are not able to march freely on the streets in this country, which is why it's an unprecedented march to take place here in the COP. And that sends a powerful signal that what we can speak out here, we can't speak out outside of these walls. And that is part of our struggle, that we as a movement need to be able to organise. And this is not just simply about this country. We're seeing it happen across the world. We're seeing it happen in my country of the UK. Criminalisation of protest, restriction on the right to protest, restriction on the right to organise. And as the crisis worsens, the attacks on our movements are worsening as well. I was one of the organisers. We put 150,000 people on the streets. And another 100,000 people the UK. That's because we were able to organise, we were able to bring together the labour movement, environmental movement, the people of Glasgow onto the street. That's not very possible here. Remember, whilst there are thousands of people, not all of them are civil society. We know there are 600
Y esto ha afectado centralmente en los tiempos que no se pueden calcular para hacer la producción de la soberanía en la cuenca amazónica principalmente no se sabe cuándo llueve ni cuándo es. Entonces los tiempos han cambiado, por lo tanto la alimentación que antes como soberanía ahora se es un efecto inmediato y directo. ¿Cuál va a ser otro efecto directo? La desertificación del suelo. Mucho sol, ¿cierto? Y con una caída de pendientes. Estamos haciendo agricultura también dependiente de los paquetes tecnológicos importados. Eso va barriendo, en este caso, los suelos fértiles.